Okay, it is 12 o'clock, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to the North Carolina Promise Transfer Panel discussion today. We're going to hear from 4 North Carolina universities, all of whom are part of our UNC Public University system. What makes these 4 schools stand out is that they are part of the North Carolina Promise tuition program. So the tuition at the North Carolina Promise schools is $500 a semester, exclamation point. I'm going to let the representatives give you all the details on that. Today we have Sherry Franks from Elizabeth State University. There we go. I was going to say we need a wave. Brooke Van from the Fayetteville State University. We have Kristen Woodell from UNC Pembroke. And Beth Owenby representing the Western Carolina University. I am Laura Katz. I'm going to be your moderator today. I am an academic advisor from Wake Tech up at the North Campus. You can see behind me, we have our beautiful North Campus. Natalia Koch, also an academic advisor from North Campus, is going to be monitoring the chat, and she will present your questions when we get to the end of the actual roundabout discussions. The format for this will include presentations from each of the universities, and then we're going to have a question and answer session for the last 15 minutes. So please type your questions in the chat box as we go along. Don't be shy. Just go ahead and put them as we go so you don't forget what they are. And at the end, we're going to address a lot of them. Some of them may get answered as we go through the presentations, but we'll make sure that we do a shout out for each one just to make sure everybody, all the questions are addressed after all the 4 presenters are complete. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Sherry Franks, the Associate Director of Transfer Admissions from Elizabeth City State University.
Thank you. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Okay, welcome. My name is Sherry Franks, and I'm the Assistant Director of Transfer Admissions at Elizabeth City State University, and I'm so glad you decided to join us today. ECSU is nestled in the northeast section of North Carolina with about 19,000 people. We have a little over 2,000 students at Elizabeth City State University. We were named one of the 100 best places to live on the East Coast by Money Magazine. We are located about 35 miles from the Outer Banks and 61 miles from Virginia Beach. We have a picture here of our waterfront, which is about 3 miles from the university. I'm sorry. This is a beautiful pic of our campus, our main campus, taken by one of our own drones. It shows our dining hall, a few of our dorms, our main gym where all of the basketball games are played, and the Ridley Student Center, which is the hangout for most of our students on campus. ECSU has over 30 undergraduate degree programs and 4 graduate degree programs. We also have 2 completely online degree programs in interdisciplinary studies and homeland security. One of our growing programs is the aviation science program, which we are the only university in North Carolina that offers a full undergraduate degree in aviation science, meaning you can graduate in 4 years and fly the blue skies as a pilot, work in aviation management or air traffic control. Here at ECSU, we love to keep our students engaged in programs and services like PACE, the PACE Center, which provides educational and cultural activities, Champion Scholars, which is the male-only mentoring group, and a full-service health center. Also continue to support our students. We have academic advising, where students are required to meet with their advisor at least once per semester to go over their plan of study and academic requirements, and to make sure they stay on task for graduating. We have free tutoring with one-on-one or group support, writing lab support, and supplemental tutoring. To assist students with activities on campus, we have over 70 student organizations, 12 active fraternities and sororities, and over 300 sponsored events. ECSU offers an honors program, which is designed to challenge students with high academic standards. The mission of our Housing and Residence Life is to provide students and staff with a comfortable and secure community living environment. We offer housing for our freshmen and transfer students, and all students are able to bring their vehicles on campus. ECSU belongs to the CIAA. We are Division II. Our teams consist of basketball, football, golf, cross country, bowling, cheerleading, softball, and tennis. We have also pictured our mascot, which is Vic the Viking. For what we're all here today, ECSU is an NC Promise school. We're one of 4 schools in the UNC systems that offer tuition at a rate of $500 in-state, $1,000 annually, and $2,500 out-of-state, $5,000 annually. Along with those fees, we also have campus-related fees for students and on-campus residency costs that apply. So it's always important to know the full cost of tuition per year. At ECSU, our in-state, along with room and board and everything, is almost $9,000 per semester, per year, and $13 for out-of-state students per year. We ask that all students complete your FAFSA. Even if you don't think you qualify for the FAFSA, please still apply. Some students are considered for other grants and scholarships, but you have to fill out your FAFSA first. All students that have attended a college or university after high school are considered a transfer student. Our transfer students must have at least 24 transferable credit hours, and we recommend at least a 2.3 cumulative GPA. And that's what I have for today. Again, my name is Sherry Franks. I'm the Assistant Director of Transfer Admissions at Elizabeth City State University. You can always contact me or Mr. Andre Hill, which is our Interim Director of Transfer Services. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Now we're going to have Brooke Van. She is the Assistant Director of Admissions Transfer from Fayetteville State University.
Okay, thank you so much for the introduction. Again, I am Brooke Van. I am the Assistant Director of the Transfer Recruitment Team with FSU. And I definitely want to provide some information we have today for you for the NC Promise. So you all are here for a great purpose. Just to give some background information, of course, we are located in the heart of Fayetteville, North Carolina, founded in 1867. We currently have an enrollment slightly under 7,000, with 60% of our students making up the military-connected population. We currently have 33 bachelor's programs, 17 master's degrees, as well as 16 online degree completion programs. Some of the online degree completion programs include our School of Business, social work, education, as well as criminal justice. So the list goes on with our online programs. But with our academics, as you can see here on the screen, some of our top programs include nursing, forensic science, as well as, again, going back to our early childhood education. Just some fun facts on FSU. We do offer pre-professional programs as well. So for anyone out there who is looking to go into dentistry, wanting to be a doctor, a veterinarian, we have that here for you. We also have a pre-law society for our students who are looking into law school, which, fun fact, 95% have gotten accepted into law programs. We now have some new majors here on campus, including e-gaming, as well as a Bachelor's of Science in Sports and Fitness Management. So those are just some popular things coming in to FSU this year. And we are actually expanding next year too with 2 new majors. So that'll be coming soon. Of course, our transfer students want to know if they qualify for some money, just like first-time freshmen. As Ms. Sherry mentioned, if you have obtained a credit hour, you are now considered a transfer student. So for our transfers, this is fairly new. We now have renewable merit-based scholarships for incoming students starting fall 2022. Of course, merit-based is something that you do not have to fill out yourself. It comes automatically through the Office of Admissions, and we just verify your GPA. We also have institutional scholarships. Once you have been accepted to the university, we have over 30 are available for you. It's only one application, 2 recommendations needed, but must have your FAFSA on file. We also have some fun with our student life. Sorry, I don't know if that's on my end. Sorry about that. I don't know how to get to it to cut it off. But we do have some 120 organizations, including Greek life, sororities, fraternities, as well as intramural club sports. So we want you to come in, we want you to have fun outside of your academics as well, because it is a huge networking opportunity. And also, we are home of the CIAA champs. So yes, we went to Maryland 2 weeks ago, and we brought home the championship for our men's basketball. Our volleyball team won this year, so we just been dominating, so we're excited. Here we have the transfer equivalency self-service tool. So if anyone is interested in seeing what credits are going to transfer in prior to even applying to Fayetteville State, feel free to use this QR code here, and I'll drop the link in the chat box soon. Is your application on file, and we don't have a minimum of credit hours. And here are a few deadlines coming up. So for fall 2022, the deadline is June 30th. Here is the admissions team, including myself and Mr. Hawkins, who often joins me. And I'll put this again in the chat. And we are also having our spring open house on March 26th. So if you are interested in coming out, viewing our campus, and taking note of our NC Promise with our $500 tuition rate, definitely feel free to sign up. It is open for high school students as well as transfer students, and we'll have all academic advisors here on site. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. Next up is Kristen Waddell. She is the Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions from UNC Pembroke.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for that introduction. Once again, my name is Kristen Waddell. I'm the Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at UNCP. When I actually started as the transcript evaluator, so any questions about any of your transfer credit that you may have, I am your girl. I can take care of you as far as getting those questions answered. But just to give you some background information about UNC Pembroke, we were founded in 1887 as the Croatan Normal School. So we're the nation's only historically American Indian institution founded by American Indians for American Indians. And right now, if you look at our enrollment today, we are at our highest enrollment of over 8,300 students, and we are currently the most diverse campus in the UNC system and in the Southeast region as a whole. So if learning in a diverse environment with diverse faculty and staff, as well as a diverse student population, if that's something that's important to you, then UNCP would be a great place for you. We do have an average class size of around 20 students. I had classes where there were just 5 of us, so having that personal interaction with your professors is something that happens on a daily basis here. Our students are the reason why we get up and do what we do every single day. So we do have 41 undergraduate programs and 17 graduate programs with over 150 degree pathways. So our institution is broken down into a few different schools. So we have the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Health Sciences, the Mackenzie Elliott School of Nursing, the Thomas School of Business, and our graduate school. And of course, we can't forget the School of Education. Some of our top majors, though, are criminal justice, business administration, nursing, elementary education, social work. We're seeing a lot of growth in our computer science areas, as well as in our kinesiology department. So we do have a 3+2 athletic training program right here on campus. So 3 years you would complete your bachelor's degree in exercise sports science. 2 years later, you would be finishing up with your athletic training degree. Now, as a transfer student, that would look a little different for you. You wouldn't have that entire 3 years here, but you could still participate in that program. as a transfer student. We also have pre-engineering, pre-law, and pre-health programs here on campus that will help you get to exactly where it is that you want to go. Most of our academic programs do require some type of internship for graduation, so we're making sure that we're building that experience while you're still a student here. But we do like to highlight some online programs that a lot of our transfer students take advantage of. So, of course, we have criminal justice, sociology, business administration with concentrations in economics, finance management, and marketing. And we have our wonderful BIS program. So having that Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies is the same thing as having a Bachelor's of Arts or a Bachelor's of Science. This degree gives you a little more freedom to really pick and play with what courses you're taking, because we even have a general studies major where if you like a lot of things, you have that opportunity to really explore all of those passions under that degree program. But one thing that we do, of course, love to highlight on as well is our business administration to MBA program. So with a minimum 5 years, you can complete your bachelor's degree as well as your master's degree in business administration. This is a wonderful program. If you are interested in this, you can feel free to get in contact with me after this presentation, and I'll be more than happy to share some more information with you about it. But one piece of advice that I can give any student attending any college anywhere is to get involved. So we are D2 Athletics. We're part of Conference Carolinas. And we do have 16 athletic teams on campus, all of which have walk-on tryouts. Our men's basketball team actually just won our conference championship, and they are still playing, and we're hoping that they continue to move forward in the season. We do have over 120 clubs and organizations on campus as well, spanning from fraternity and sorority life, student government association, religious organizations, academic honor societies, intramural and club sports, basic interest-based clubs. If there's something that you're thinking that UNCP would need, we definitely want to hear those things, and we're going to actually push you to create those clubs and organizations on campus yourself. We do have study abroad opportunities as well as service learning and living learning opportunities as well. But we can't talk about UNCP without mentioning North Carolina Promise. So North Carolina Promise, like you've heard previously today, is our tuition program. So for in-state students, you're looking at $500 per semester for tuition. Now, this is as if you'll be receiving a $10,000 scholarship right out the gate. So that's the way we like to look at it. So you'll have a total annual cost with room and board, books, health insurance, other fees of around $15,000, but that is still a good savings thanks to NC Promise. For our out-of-state students, they're looking at $2,500 per semester, which is basically a $40,000 scholarship for any student coming in from out of state. But I've told you a lot about some of the opportunities that we have on campus, but let me tell you how you can get here. So you would start your journey by completing the application at uncp.edu/apply. Get us all of your transcripts. We are, of course, test optional. If you happen to be under the age of 21, we won't need any of those test scores. And you get to choose a major. So during your application process, if you're still undecided, even as a transfer student, that's perfectly fine. You can still apply as an undecided major as a transfer. We're just going to really push you to make those decisions really soon. Now, once you decide to come to UNCP, these are a few things that we're promising you. So we're guaranteeing that you will gain knowledge. So you will be a master of your field by the time you leave here. And we're going to push you to get involved on campus. So whether that looks like joining clubs or organizations, or trying out for one of the athletic teams on campus, or getting involved in community service, or participating with the Transfer and Commuter Center on campus. We're going to push you out in those areas so that you can receive the support that you need to make sure that you're successful here. We're also going to give you a ton of experience, so whether that's completing internships or participating in study abroad or academic research, we want to help build your resume while you're still a student. Even if you already are working full-time, we'll find some stuff to fluff if you'll allow us to. And then we're going to, of course, celebrate with you once you graduate. And as far as transfer credit goes, because I know that's one of the things that a lot of our transfer students have questions about. So there is no cap on how many credits that you can transfer in. We do require all of our students to complete at least 30 credit hours, so a fourth of their degree here on campus in order to receive a degree from us. So once you submit your application and your official transcripts, then we will get to work on reviewing your application. Once you've been admitted, then we'll start inputting your transfer credits so that you can see exactly what credits are transferring over. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm more than happy to chat. Here's all of my contact information, and I hope to hear from you soon. We also have an open house on April 2nd, so please come out and join us if you are interested in learning more about UNCP.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Next up is Beth Owenby. She is a Regional Assistant Director of Admissions at AB Tech, and she is presenting the Western Carolina University today.
Hi, everyone. Yes, so my name is Beth. I'm with the Undergraduate Admissions Office for Western. This is the front of our campus. It's really quite lovely. We're going to go over a few things. So this is our campus. We have 600 or so acres of land as part of the campus. Of course, what you're seeing, the buildings and the fields and everything is just part of that. A lot of our land is actually trails, hiking, rivers, stuff like that. And it also contains our body farm, which is the second research body farm in the United States. So we are very proud of that. We are located in Cullowhee, North Carolina. We are about an hour west of Asheville, so we're, close to some really fun activities outside of our campus. We have about 12,000 students with over 120 different majors, minors, and concentrations, including online programs. We have a low student-faculty ratio of 17:1. Of course, that mostly is for our junior and senior classes. If you transfer in early, you may still have some auditorium classes, like if you were to take biology or something. Our average entering GPA of our transfer students is 3.0, so we're very proud of that. We're proud of our students. So we do recommend students that are looking to transfer to, of course, keep their grades and GPA up. Now, we have a lot of popular programs such as nursing, arts and science, criminal justice, education, fine and performing arts. We did start as an educational institution, a teacher's college, and we have a lot of different teaching programs that fall under there. We also have the UNC system's largest and longest running residential honors college with more than 1,300 students, along with an honors dorm. So we're very, very proud of that as well. A bunch of smarty pants. And we're also a top 10 research college for projects accepted at the National Conference on Undergraduate Research. So again, more things we're proud of. NC Promise, what we're all here to talk about today. So this shows you a bit about our undergraduate cost for in-state and out-of-state students. In the fall, tuition is $500, and in the spring, it's $500. It is a little more in the summer. In tuition for on-campus students, your textbooks are included. You also have your fees on top of that, which can vary just depending on stuff like parking. And then you have your room. And so if you do live on campus, that cost can also vary depending on the resident hall, the type of room, if you're sharing, private, etc. And the meal plan, which also have variable costs. So we do recommend for any students that are not distance to have some type of meal plan due to the dining opportunities on and around campus. So out of state, as you can see, it's similar, just a little higher. So 1 year being at Western as an on-campus student is estimated to be a little over $1,500 currently. And you can look at those details through our tuition website on how that all breaks down. Distance learning also participates in the NC Promise. So those are broken down into per credit hour tuition. So the tuition and fees are all combined, and of course you're not looking at resident halls or a meal plan. And most of our online programs are considered degree completion programs, and they're generally going to be 6 to 9 hours per semester. We are a vast value school based upon us already being somewhat affordable for a university, but also with NC Promise, even more affordable. These are our current distance education programs. Note that the engineering technology is a hybrid program where students do have to go to one of our satellite, like our South Asheville campus for some courses, with the rest of it being online. These are all very popular. Management and marketing are starting up this upcoming fall, so we're very excited about that. There's a lot to do. We have 16 Division I NCAA athletic teams, an award-winning Pride of the Mountain marching band, which has over 500 players, musicians, lots of organizations, sports. We keep getting voted the Southeast #1 outdoor adventure college year after year because there is so much to do. We have base camp Coley that's going to help students get acclimated. We can hike camp, you know, arrange jumping out of planes, horseback riding. So we definitely want our students to be active. And since we have that, all those acres of lovely land, you can do pretty much anything but surf. And due to all that, we weren't allowed to compete one year in the outdoor adventure college contest because we kept winning. But then we were allowed back in once more. We do have diversity. Diversity is a growing more and more. We have different organizations on campus, such as Latino Appreciation Student Organization and the Black Student Union. We also have very deep ties to the Eastern Band and Cherokee Indians, since we are right up by them. We do have several different residential halls for those that are interested in campus. Freshmen and sophomore students are required to live on campus. We do have a transfer-specific hall where students that transfer in that are living on campus all get to live, on the same floor, because the experiences are a little different than those coming straight out of high school. We do have 2 brand new dorms coming up, and students will start filling them in the fall. They are currently being wrapped up, being built. They're gorgeous. Lots of food to eat. My favorite on campus is Starbucks. With a meal plan, it's pre-taxed, so it really does save you money. The cafeteria, it's an all-you-can-eat, so you swipe your card, go in and eat as much as you can. Some of the food stays the same, some rotates to day to day. Just a lot to eat. So again, even if you're commuting to campus, we still recommend at least getting a basic meal plan. So to apply, currently our application waiver is waived for 2022. Normally, we do have that fee. We require all transcripts from all colleges, even if you took just one course. You can apply with unofficial transcripts, but it is your benefit to go ahead and order official ones to be sent in as well. ACT and SATs currently waived. Some of our programs, those such as a lot of our nursing programs, do require an ACT score. Some programs, such as nursing, and a lot of the online programs, have an additional application. They might have earlier deadlines, certain requirements, higher GPAs than is considered general admission to Western. So please be sure to be checking out those program pages to look for any of those additional items. We have a April 1st deadline coming up, and that's for summer and fall, to have a completed application. So if you have not yet applied, please go ahead and do so. You can go through apply.wcu.edu and just follow the process. Transferring, if you are over 21 years of age, we're looking for at least 12 credit hours of completed coursework. We do prefer 24 hours. Then we're not looking for your high school transcripts as well. If you're under 21 and don't have at least 24 credit hours, then we're going to be wanting your high school transcripts. The minimum GPA is 2.2 cumulative to be considered. That does not mean automatic admission to the university. We do also look at grade patterns. So if you started out strong and have not been doing well since, that we will look at. But we also look at if you've been improving or staying improved the entire time as well. So keep those grades up. You can look up how classes transfer through our transfercredits.wcu.edu. North Carolina Community College courses are great among us in the UNC system of easy transferability, but you can look up exactly how they will transfer into Western. We do have an open house coming up on 3/26, so that's just a couple weeks away. You can go to openhouse.wcu.edu to schedule coming. That is a great opportunity to talk to professors, programs, financial aid, and more. You can also do virtual tours or sign up to come and do a walking tour through our visit.wcu.edu website. If you have any questions, our email is admiss@wcu.edu, and that tends to be the quickest way to get in touch with us since we do travel. Again, that's admiss@wcu.edu, and feel free to reach out to us at any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. All of these presentations were so informative. What we'd like to do now is move over to the chat and answer some of the questions that you guys have been proposing throughout the presentation. The representatives should be able to pop in and answer if there's university specific, and Natalia and I are here as well for any Wake Tech questions that you might have. So Natalia, do you want to go ahead and read them off?
Yes. The first question that we have is asking if the presentation will be recorded and when or where students can find that recording. I did link the Academic Advising YouTube channel in my response. So if you arrived late or, maybe you're not here now, but for anybody that needs to leave early, that recording will be available in the coming days. So be sure to check that out. The next question that we have in the chat is, how soon do you suggest that we start the application process for transferring? And we can go around and each representative can answer.
As for Elizabeth City State, our application deadline for the fall is June the 30th. So you actually want to go ahead and start applying now if you haven't already done so.
Yes, same with Fayetteville State, June 30th for the fall semester. However, most colleges do have a rolling, well, some colleges have a rolling admissions, meaning they accept applications throughout the entire cycle. However, you have to just keep in mind that a lot of the scholarship dollars may depreciate. So that is why we have a lot of hard deadlines. Same thing for majors such as nursing. So with nursing, there is a separate application process. So you have to be admitted to the university first, and then you apply to the nursing program separately. So it's best to get those deadlines in because your major may have a separate application process. So I definitely want to put that out there.
For Western, our applications open up 1 year in advance. We do recommend applying as soon as possible. That way, if anything comes up, we have time to fix it. That also then gives you an opportunity to start applying for financial aid and all those other fun things. So definitely apply as early as you can and apply completely with all your transcripts.
I would like to echo everyone else's response. Make sure you get those applications in as early as possible. Being transfer students, you're coming in with a lot of credit. That means that your class selection is very specific, especially when it comes to getting registered for classes. So we want to make sure that you can register as early as possible. So the earlier you apply, the better. We are rolling admissions at UNC Pembroke, so we will admit further on into the summer. However, we do prefer to get applications in by May 1. That way we can guarantee that you have seats in classes.
Okay, the next question in the chat I think was covered with your responses. The best time to apply for admissions, financial aid, scholarships. If anybody would like to add any additional information, feel free to do so. Okay, next question is, do you happen to know the average GPA of admitted transfer students at your institution?
At ECSU, our average GPA for transfer students is 3.1. Again, we just recommend at least a 2.3 GPA, but our average GPA for transfer students is 3.1.
Very close on that marker with Elizabeth City. And I'm not sure if I said the minimum to be admitted was a 2.0 or higher, but the average is around a 3.132. And then for that merit-based scholarship, that does begin at a 3.2 GPA.
For Western Carolina, our average entering transfer GPA is a 3.0.
On average, we see around a 3.1, 3.2 transfer GPA. And we will look at the cumulative GPA. So we also have a 3-year rule. So any credit that you've accumulated 3 years ago or more, if it would hurt your GPA calculation, we won't take that into consideration.
What is the cap on how many credit hours can be transferred? Also, if a student has some courses to complete in summer, would that impact their fall admissions?
Good questions.
The cap for incoming student from a community college, we cap at 65 credit hours. If you send your transcript in before you've completed your summer credit hours, you can just have another transcript sent to us at the end of the semester, and we'll update your credit hours once the updated transcript has come in.
Yep, pretty much the same. You only have to complete with Fayetteville State is 30%. However, any course with a C or higher, over 100 level course is transferable to the university. And the same, if you are taking additional classes, we just ask that you provide us with an updated transcript so we can evaluate your new credit hours.
So for WCU, most of our programs to receive a degree are between 120 and 126 hours. So you can transfer in a lot of hours. Some of them might just come as elective hours, and you just have to complete, if that's the case, the hours within your major classes, so your junior and senior classes, along with 1 or 2 upper level prospective electives outside of your degree major at the 300-400 level.
And we do not have a cap on how many hours you can transfer. We do require you to complete at least 25% of your degree at UNCP. So we'll take transfer credit as long as it's something comparable that we have on campus, or if you have a C or better in the course.
And to piggyback on that last question, does that change if the student is submitting a program application for a competitive program like nursing? Would they need to have those courses completed before the summer?
So with nursing, each of our nursing programs is a little different. And they might, like, such as I'm just going to give our accelerated bachelor's in nursing program as an example. So as applying to the university, we're looking at your cumulative GPA among all institutions you have attended. Certain programs will only look at your past 60 hours. So if you have a ton of hours, maybe multiple degrees, or just have been going to school for a long time for various reasons, they're only going to look for maybe those past 60. And or maybe with like nursing, you have to have 3 of the 5 sciences already completed. That also gives you, but you have to have them all completed before you start. And that gives you an opportunity if maybe you did take like an A&P course early on and you didn't do great, that gives you an opportunity to also repeat it. And so for that program, they're going to look at that higher grade as opposed to admissions. We just count it all. Unless you're repeating the course at the same institution, then that gets repeated on the transcript at the community college. So it can get a little complicated, but just keep in mind that sometimes programs are looking at different hours, different GPAs, different classes, and combinations as opposed to attendance into the university as a whole.
Something to keep in mind, for example, with nursing, if there is a prerequisite that is required, then you still can come into the university, still be admitted, and take the prerequisites with us. So it's not necessarily required to be admitted to the school, but of course, once you are doing that nursing application, that is something that they look for. We do have some students who find out that they are missing prerequisites and decide to just stay where they are at the community college, which I definitely will kind of vouch for that. You know, if you're already there, you're in place, just go ahead and finish out and then go ahead and transfer those credits on over to us. But if not, if you're ready to just come on in, you still can take the prerequisites at our institution.
All right, the next question is, I'm interested in UNC Pembroke and I want to talk to someone to see if I'm on the right track. So not really a statement of who to contact.
Yeah, so you can feel free to contact me, and we'll take a look at your application, make sure that we have everything on file that we need, and make sure your transfer credit is getting entered and you're moving towards the right direction.
Okay, looks like the last question that we have is, do all institutions look for repeatable courses? I wonder if they mean if the student has repeated a course, do they look at second attempt, third attempt grades? Do you consider the highest grade only, or do you recalculate GPA with all attempts?
Typically, when I'm looking at the transcripts, if they have repeated a course, that grade, everything is updated on that new term. So usually it'll just have the R there for repeated, or there might be another letter for it, but it doesn't count towards you. And same thing with, say, withdrawals. Withdrawals don't hurt your GPA either. So I don't think it's anything that necessarily affects your GPA, but I haven't ran across that in any transcript evaluations.
ECSU echoes that also. We do the same.
Western, very similar. As long as you're repeating the class at the same institution and it's the exact same class, that grade, the older grade, just goes away. So it is not considered part of the cumulative GPA.
Same at UNC Pembroke.
But if you repeat that class at a different institution, then both are going to count.
If you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I do have a question for our panelists. You talked about minimum transfer requirements. How can transfer students be the most competitive for admissions? What would be your top recommendations?
I would say to ECSU, apply early, make sure all the transcripts come in from all the schools you've previously attended. It's just about getting that application in and just being on top of everything early.
I second that, along with keeping your grades up, because grade patterns do matter.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That, as well as a lot of times we'll have the personal statement option on the application, but a lot of our transfer students skip over that. Sometimes recommendation letters are, well, they're not required for your admissions process, but those are still things we take into consideration when we're sorting through those merit-based scholarships. So send everything you have. We've had students send in resumes as well. So don't think that we just ignore it with your application process. You'll be surprised when it actually will come into play. So anything you have, just send it on over.
I would definitely have to echo getting everything in as early as possible and being on top of the process, making sure that you're taking initiative and asking those tough questions when you feel like, okay, I've submitted this document, but I'm not seeing it on my portal. Just make sure that you are communicating with your admissions offices and really submitting everything and answering every question on the applications. I know that there's a lot of optional parts of the application, but make sure that you take advantage of those. That at least shows us that you're giving a little more effort into it.
And don't miss any deadlines. Some systems will automatically just bump you out if you miss a deadline. So pay attention to those. It's very important.
A question that I sometimes get from students is regarding foreign language, if it's required as a general university requirement or if it's specific to the major. Can each of you speak a little bit about whether foreign language is required at your institution?
At ECSU, to get into ECSU, a foreign language is not required, but some of our majors do require foreign language within their major to graduate.
Yes, depends on the major. For example, communications, you have to have at least 2. So coming in the door, it's not a graduation requirement unless it's a part of the actual department's plan.
For those with less than 24 college credit hours transferring in, yes, we're looking at those, that the 2 high school same language courses are completed. If you're coming on with hours 24 or more, no, we're not looking at. We do have a world cultures requirement, which a foreign language can meet, but it's not required unless, again, it's part of a specific degree such as international studies.
Yes, and unless it's part of the actual program that you are going to be studying here at UNC Pembroke, we will not require you to take a foreign language here as a transfer student, as long as you're transferring in over the age of 21 with at least 24 credit hours. We're not going to look for any type of foreign language courses for you.
So a lot of our students might be from the Raleigh-Durham area and not too familiar with where your institutions are located. I know that you mentioned the location and a little bit about the area. Can you tell us your favorite things to do outside of the classroom? What students like to do and what you could recommend to students that are considering moving out and attending on campus?
Well, ECSU, we're a small community, so most of ours, I would just suggest that all students, when they come on, get involved with anything that they enjoy. Just get into activities, fraternities, sororities, any events or anything happening on campus, just get involved with anything.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. So of course, here in Fayetteville, it's a military town, so you'll see a mixture of people kind of come in and out, but we have our festivals, we have our food truck rallies. There's literally something going on downtown Fayetteville almost every weekend and even throughout the week, and there are things that we have on campus as well. We have a movie theater on campus, we have activity councils who put on different events, so at least one organization on campus is having something going on every day here. And that's simply because we have students from all over the world. So we really just have those big networking opportunities, especially with our military connected families. So even if you do not physically live on campus, we have an organization called Autos. And so that organization kind of keeps our commuter students on board with each other for different events going on in the community as well as on campus. So most of the schools on here have transfer related organizations too that help you kind of get equipped to the area.
Yes, Western, like I mentioned, we're an outdoor university. We have about 12,000 students. So it's really, we like to say we're not too big, not too small. You get to know a whole lot of people to do things with, but you're not going to know everybody. If there is something you want to do, we encourage it. We have help for that. If there's, for some reason, there's something that we don't have, we have people to help you start that, such as somebody started a Quidditch team. on our campus several years back. Again, it's a lot of outdoor stuff that people like to go drive into Asheville. Again, it's only an hour away, and Asheville is a foodie town. It's funky, it's music, it's art. So, if you can't get that on campus, it doesn't take very much to go ahead and do that. Again, we also have movie theaters, and there's constant, we do have a huge theater and screen department with an art gallery. So there's always some type of performance going on. It's hard to be bored.
So UNCP is in the middle of a very small town, very tight-knit community, but the community is always welcome to you getting involved outside of campus, as well as there's always things going on on campus as well. I was a commuter student while I was a student here, and I stayed on campus more than I stayed at home. So there were things happening to where it kept me here until 11:30, midnight, almost every night. So you'll find those things on campus that you want to get involved in that's really going to tie you here to cause this place to feel more like home. But we do like to say that UNCP may be in a small town, but it's a very short drive away from everywhere. We're about an hour and a half away from Myrtle Beach. And from Wilmington, so from Wrightsville Beach, we're about 45 maybe minutes away from Fayetteville, so we're in a good spot. So we're secluded enough to where you have the opportunity to really stay focused on your studies, but still close enough to everything where it's in a short drive. We're even only an hour and a half away from Raleigh as well, so it's a pretty good commute.
And for students that are looking to stay in this area, can you recap some of the distance learning options that you offer?
ECSU, we offer 2 completely online degree programs in interdisciplinary studies and homeland security. We also offer 2 online degree completion programs in criminal justice and business administration.
With Fayetteville State, yeah, we have 17, so I won't name all 17, but some of our top ones: business, criminal justice, RN to BSN is completely online, early childhood non-teaching, social work, psychology. History is our newest major that is offered completely online, along with political science. So we just added those 2. So several that are available, and I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yes, so we, again, I showed the list earlier, but we have a lot of online programs. BK is a huge program that often fills up very quickly. Nursing, the criminal justice, emergency medical care. Then we have, finance, management, marketing, innovation, leadership, and entrepreneurship, business and administrative law. And those are our undergraduate programs. And again, the only one that's really a hybrid one at this point is the engineering technology. The other ones are all online.
So as far as online programs go, we have criminal justice, sociology, business administration, birth to kindergarten education. That program can be completed online. Our RN to BSN program can be completed online, and we do have several options within our Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies program. So I'll get that link dropped for you in the chat.
What is the top major for transfer students at your institution? Do you have one that you get a higher percentage of transfers versus the regular population?
I think our top majors at ECSU would be business administration and criminal justice.
The same. Business is our largest major on campus.
I think our business is really big, and of course our RN to BSN program, along with all our nursing programs, are very popular. But our business, BSBA and business law, business administration and law, is the largest group of our distance students.
So I would say our business administration, criminal justice, and RN to BSN program. Those 3 would be the top ones for our transfer students.
Laura, do you have any questions? I don't see any additional questions in the chat.
I do not have any questions, but a lot of these questions, I'm over here nodding my head going, good information, good information.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for everybody and everything you've shared today. And students will be, I'm sure, reviewing this video that weren't able to make it today. So thank you so much for your time and all this great information. And thank you. Take care, everyone.